And that's not the way Master Muhammad came to do. First, what Mr. Faulkner said, outcome personality worships. There's no God but Allah. He's the one that we look for. He never leaves, but all of us have come and go. All of the prophets come and go. But not necessarily saying he died, but he's not physically present with us. So I've never had no problem with that at all. And Mr. Jabril had the book, about the possibility of this to be alive. So when the messenger left, by us not being prepared for that, and I found out there myself that we were, most of us were not believers, had faith in what ourselves, we had faith in the messenger. And to me, that was similar to what the Christians say. They have faith in Jesus, and I analyzed that. I said, no. Because I used to say that to Christians, that you don't need to have faith in Jesus. You need to have the faith of Jesus. And when the messenger left, I realized the reality of that. That's what we were doing. We were doing the same thing they were doing. So I realized that we don't need to have faith in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We need to have the faith of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the faith of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. That's what gets them where they are. Not to have faith in them, because that leaves you like they have to do nothing. But that's not reality. It's the God in you that has to do it. So anyway, that's the whole subject to deal with in itself. But that's where my thing now is to get the people to see the reality. When I was training the men in San Francisco, I trained them for years. Most of the brothers that came, minister, captain, secretaries, and lieutenants in all the different cities came out of that class. Okay, and I tell them, teach them the structure of government, and lots of them reported me to Chicago that teaching the devil's teaching, because all the ones that say they want to be lieutenants, one of the first things I would tell them is, if you want to be a lieutenant, you're a lieutenant, that means you're part of a military structure. And the military structure is the Nation of Islam. So if you're in a military structure, the Nation of Islam, there must be a government. Okay? So if there's a government, then you must know what a government is. Now this was back in the 60s, something. People look at me like, the nation. So I would ask them questions to qualify them to be a lieutenant. First thing you got to do is explain to me, what is a nation? You said, you're in the Nation of Islam, or what is the Nation of Islam? Nation of Islam. They'll tell you it's Master Prophet Muhammad. No. That is not the Nation of Islam. What is Nation of Islam? What is its structure? What is it? So they had to go back and do that. I said every government has a structure. So I had to go back and study. I said every government has a structure. Since you live in America, it would be wise for us to study the structure of America, because that's the one that affects us. So I had to go back and study the government structure of the United States. President, cabinet. Somebody wrote to Chicago and told me that I was teaching a white man's teaching. And the brother in Chicago, they knew me. So I said, when I went to say that, he said, brother, I used to report you all the time. He said, but we know that they was just like knowledge. They didn't understand. But they never said anything to me about it. They let me keep on teaching. So from that, they learned some of the things that we're trying to learn now. Mr. Farrakhan has been trying to get us to do this for years. So in the training class, they had to go through like college training, like an academy. I still got some of their paperwork. You have to ask questions And in order to be a lieutenant, you can't just be a lieutenant just because somebody told you to do something, you're going to do it. You got to be able to understand why you're doing it, what's this all about, and be able to accept people questioning you without getting an attitude. Because you're the officer, can anybody question you? Well, how are they going to learn if they don't question you? Now there's a negative question, there's a positive question. The positive question is to learn more about how to carry out the instruction. And the other one is, I don't believe what you're talking about, right? I think I can do it better. That's a different kind of instruction. But you got to be able to read which one it is before you respond to it. So that's what I think that we need to, I would advise the youngsters now. Because we went through a similar stage like this back in the 70s with the youth. And the youth was going to have the youth do the same similar thing in Chicago and other cities. One of the things that the youth did was when you send somebody out without guidance, they do it the way they think they can do it, but they make a lot of mistakes that they could have eliminated if they had some guidance prior to that. And the one we did before, they didn't listen to nobody. When the minister said the youth could do it, they went out and figured they're going to take over. Now I don't know if they will report those kind of things on the tape, but I trained some men. Allah trained them. I didn't train them. Allah trained them through me, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing either. I was listening to obey Allah's instruction to do this. But the brothers that I did end up teaching through Allah's guidance, they became very good followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, very devoted, and they did not tolerate any slackness. And during that time, you couldn't say things that offend the messenger or anything else without being get some type of retaliation from, because that's what the understanding they had. And at one point, they took it too far. And some of them, what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said about the enemies being around him, the messenger said the same thing. So when they heard that, they like the Minutemen. They went to Chicago to find out, well, who is it that's giving the messenger any kind of trouble in Chicago? You know, they took it on themselves about one group out one of the city. The whole brother I trained, they went back to Chicago. They were going to do something. They went there and they came back and told me what they were going to do. I said, brother, you can't do that. But they went out on their own and did some things. Lots of them got killed. They went in jail. And they did lots of different things. But during that particular era, there was a critical time, as Brother Ishmael was saying today, about truth out of season, out of time. You did time, but that was out of time. It was right, but it's not in time. So that's what I'm looking at now with the youth now. 2 minutes. What's going on now is for us to get the youth and do what you're doing now, get others to have classes where dialogue with the youth and the elders, not for them to give you advice, but just give you consultation or tell you what they've experienced. And you have to take that, internalize that, and put it up to what Minister Farrakhan is telling you. His words, what Mr. Ishmael is telling you through Minister Farrakhan, that's the direction we want to go in. He's taking us right in the direction we go in. But if they don't apply what Mr. Farrakhan said in that dialogue process, if that process is eliminated, then we have fall victim to the same thing that happened when the nation rose before to great heights economically, but the spirit